One of my favorites.
Yeah, too bad we're not highlighting any Dominican players today.
But it expires for tomorrow.
Yeah. And they play today.
Yep.
And it's Eleazar Hernandez is the starting pitcher to be
go.
determined for the Nationals. There we go. So, episode 11, Mainline Marlins podcast, Tommy Stitt and David Winker. Today we're going to highlight a couple players, talk a little bit about yesterday. JJ Bleday is starting to formulate his plan to actually stay on this roster.
Yeah, he's pulling away.
When you throw a double play from right field, it doesn't happen that often. And I'm an outfielder, so I think I probably did it 2 or 3 times in my lifetime, including like Little League. So, I love that kid. A lot of good pitching yesterday. Simber pitch. That's the guy I'm going to talk about just briefly today, because I think we really want to talk about looking forward to this weekend, how we're going to try to do some live stuff while we're over there. So there you go.
I'm interested in hearing. We're going to talk about your sidewinder today.
Submarine pitcher.
I love that one too.
Yeah, that's what they're calling him now, Mr. Submarine. The guy is pretty big kid, 6'3", 180. Went to UW, and I think he finished up or played maybe 1 or 2 seasons University of San Francisco, Padres, and then the Indians. Man, he's got a super weird delivery. One of only 2 or 3 guys in the league right now that are doing that. The best part of all the little studying that I did on him, his nickname. You ready for this? Simdog Millionaire. That's it. I end my whole thing on that. Drafted by the Padres in 2013, round 9 overall pick, 268. Started his first game in 2018 with the Padres.
I was laughing yesterday because I was listening to the broadcast, and I don't know who they call him Gabby, the color man. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's obviously a former player.
I think so.
But I don't know who it is. But it was interesting. He had a lot of cool insights. And one of the things he said, they were like, when he came in, I can't remember who was batting for the Cards, but they said like, what do you do? Here you are, against this sidewinder, and he said, well, if I'm him, whoever it was, you're making this team. I just sit here and watch this guy pitch.
Right.
No reason to make yourself look like a fool.
Right. And as crazy as all the pitching, not antics, but awesomeness yesterday, Dylan Lee comes in, loads the bases, and it's the 7th inning. So this is it.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the screen, I'm watching it, and I'm working over there doing a show, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, we're going to lose this one. And I kind of turned away from it. The next thing I saw was all the bases were empty and 3 outs. So Dylan Lee somehow masterfully did it, but then I found out later JJ Bleday with the double play. But that's still awesome under pressure pitching by a young guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So
the pitching continues to impress.
Yep.
That's the thing we're watching.
And that's what we needed. Now we need some bats.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see that today.
Speaking of bats, I wanted to talk today about Corey Dickerson. So Corey has had, especially for the Marlins, a relatively long career. Came into the league in 2013 out of a community college in Mississippi, drafted in the 3rd round.
All right.
It's interesting in researching this, this idea that he's a lock for left field. He's coming off a foot injury.
Yeah.
And he had a good year last year. So his career was so first let me start. He's 6'1", he's 200 pounds, 31 years old. He played for the Rockies for 3 years, went to Tampa Bay for a couple of years, Pirates for a couple of years, and then 2019 was with the Phillies. And in 2019, he batted 133 at bats before he injured his foot. He had a broken bone in his foot. But 133 at bats, and listen to this stat line: 293, 8 home runs, 34 RBIs.
Pretty sweet.
And it's funny when you think about these guys. I was thinking about, like, it seems like a lot of RBIs for 133 at bats. And I saw a stat that he played for the Asheville Tourists. That must have been what, in 2011, 2012. And he had in 3 at bats, he had 11 RBIs.
Wow.
Still holds the
So a
record
couple
for the
bombs
league.
and a couple, extra base hits.
Yeah, and really interesting. That he's putting up those kind of numbers. But they signed him last year, 2-year, $17.5 million contract. Showing, obviously
That's decent Marlin money.
It's his to lose. They obviously have a lot of confidence in his bat. So I'm interested to see what happens. He's had 2 at bats in 2021 spring training. Both walks, which was interesting.
I'll take that. That's as good as a hit.
Yep, exactly.
Let's talk about the tickets now. A single game tickets go on sale Friday at 9, and then to the members, and then at noon for everybody else. But then I got an email today about the John Cassidy mini suites, but you got to have 10 people to do it. So put together 10 people, everybody puts in $50. You get your own, basically a pod out there in the cool zone.
It's interesting. It kind of like seems to go against the COVID thing. Like it's like you're having people bring in their family of 10. It's an interesting move that they're doing that.
I think it's kind of cool, actually. I mean, it says they're shaded. I don't know how it's shaded. We'll see when we get there. We'll go take a look at it, take some pictures. But we're going Saturday, so they got a day off tomorrow, then back again on Friday, and then Saturday against the Nationals.
Saturday at the Nationals at home.
At Jupiter. At Jupiter.
Great.
Right. No, so all we know about the Nationals haven't said who their guy is. Usually, if you follow Twitter, the Marlins Twitter, you can get the roster probably within the next hour or so, if you're interested. So they got Houston on Friday, and then the split squad Washington game that we're going to be at 1:05 start on Saturday.
Great. I'm looking forward to going. I haven't been to Jupiter for 2 years because
it's going to be fun.
Last year.
It's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
So we actually have, today is a weird day because we have a double show. We're doing another show at 3:00. This is a surprise. And Jimmy Garcia is going to be here, not the player. Actually, the player Jimmy Garcia, not Yimmy Garcia, from Miami-Dade College Sharks, who is going to bring some Latin flavor to the show.
Awesome.
Bring him on every couple of weeks to talk about the Spanish connections, the Latin American connections that he knows about, and give a little spice to the show.
Awesome, that's great.
So that'll be at 3:00 today. So here we are, episode 11. Still haven't been fired, although I've heard some other shows have been canceled here recently. Not sure why.
We're surviving.
Yeah, we're surviving.
I want to talk Canes baseball.
Okay.
Canes had a rough week. I forgot to mention it yesterday. Canes had a rough weekend. They dropped 2 or 3 to Virginia Tech.
Yep. And then they dropped a couple numbers in the rankings too.
Yeah, it was a rough. There's a little bit of panic in Canes Twitter.
But do you think that's a letdown from beating the number 1 team in the nation?
Listen, I don't. It's so early in the season. I don't read much into it, but that's baseball. But also, I got to tell you something. We don't know how good Virginia Tech is. I mean, if Virginia Tech stinks, this will be a bad loss. But
we'll find that out.
Tech looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, we'll find that out.
So we'll see what happens. But you run into a hot pitcher here and there, and you get some cold bats, and this is how it goes. So I don't think there's any time for you just beat the number 1 team in the nation.
Right. Right. Arkansas is number 1 right now.
Well, we got to go do a Mark Light and watch them.
Well, I think Grant said originally they weren't going to allow fans there at all, and now they've changed that to an alternate plan where season ticket holders can go.
I drove by the other day. I don't know where I was at night. I may have been doing a show with you. You know how it's interesting, the college schedule. They do a weird one-off Wednesday game every once in a while, and it'll be against like a weird opponent that comes into town.
Right.
And they'll play Florida Gulf Coast, just a one game, a one-off. And I don't know who it was, but I walked by, and I drove by, and I saw kids going into Mark Light.
All right. Well, we got to get I'll pull up the schedule and we'll figure out when we can go down there, drink a milkshake.
Let's go. But yeah, they're definitely letting fans in. I know the pods. I know some fans were upset about the pod system because they couldn't get the seats that they wanted. So I know fans are allowed in. So we'll go check that out.
Probably better off to go like on a weeknight rather than a weekend because I don't think we'll be able to get in there on a weekend. Yeah. It'll be slammed. So we can go weeknight. Yeah. I'll look up the schedule. We'll figure it out, and we'll let everybody know. You know, what are some upcoming opponents for the Canes and kind of what to expect. We'll go down there and then we'll do a report on about what's the ambiance and the experience for everybody.
I don't know what you're going to think about this, but I'm going to drag you to a high school game.
All right, baseball.
Yeah, we're going to. I can do that. We're going to go watch Belen Columbus.
Okay.
And I'll set it up when we go see it. We got some good local.
Isn't that
baseball.
The team that Tony Bosch really wanted to play on, or he did play on for a little while?
Yeah. For Columbus.
Yeah. And I think after a couple years,
A-Rod played for Columbus. Columbus is for real, and Belen is for real. And Belen is they always make noise. It's interesting because
are those night games or day games?
Night games.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I'll drag you. It's some really good baseball, and anyways, that's a big rivalry game coming up between the Jesuit and the Catholic school. So we're gonna go do that. And it's interesting too because I saw FIU baseball. They won this weekend, and it is we've got good local baseball. It's funny when I coach my daughter's team over in South Miami, and the FIU kids will show up.
Oh,
and
that's
it's so
cool.
Impressive for those kids to see. And the FIU uniforms are like these they're good looking like pinstripe old school uniforms. They show up. I love when the players go to the trouble of dressing up with the whole thing,
right?
And they show up and show the kids, some stuff. So I've always had a soft spot for FIU baseball too, because they're kind of they don't get the attention obviously the Canes get.
Right. So
we'll watch some local baseball too.
All right. So 105 start today against the Nationals. To be determined pitcher for them, Eleazar Hernandez going for the Fish. I think that's it, man. Episode 11's in the books. Go Fish.
Yeah, happy birthday to me, Tommy.
How come only the people that ever send you you're the only one that gets messages on here. It's your wife, though. That's weird.
I got to tell you something. It's funny. My wife is a big baseball fan. She grew up watching the Astros and
Nolan Ryan
and the Astro Dome.
Oh yeah, the original.
Yeah, is there a batter badass than Nolan Ryan?
I don't think so. I think I would be afraid to face him today. He's still throwing heat.
And she still. I gotta tell you something. Those shameless cheaters, those Astros. My wife still wears her Astros stuff with pride, which I like seeing.
She needs to probably re-examine that.
She holds her head high. Those Astros are unrepentant.
Exactly. Yeah, I just like beating up on them. So we're gonna look. Denise gave me a nice message there.
Oh, we love you too, Denise.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we just need Cuban coffee to get through the rest of this morning. So there's a couple of good shows coming on after us. Bob Powers is going to be here.
Oh no.
Yeah. Did I just promote Bob Powers? That was a dumb idea. But then I believe there's a guy.
YouTube has not banned Bob Powers yet. I mean, I don't understand.
I think he's got to be. Children can't watch it. Children can't watch his shows.
His shows are amazing. He gets the best guests.
But I have no idea who he's got on today. I texted him earlier, but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. So tune into that at noon today, and then we'll be back at 3:00 with Jimmy Garcia. All right.
Awesome.
In the books.